Alright, what's up everyone? Today we're going to talk about yin and yang. So yin and yang, most importantly, is the concept of balance. It's very important in nutritional balancing science, this concept of balance, because not only are we trying to balance the biochemistry of the body, we're also trying to balance the forces of yin and yang. So yin and yang basically comes from Chinese medicine. It's been around thousands and thousands of years. But this concept of balance is also found in cultures across the world. It's found in Western culture. If you think of the Bible, God created the land and He created the sea, He created night and day. These are all things that are dualistic in nature. Okay, so the universe itself is meant to be balanced. So yang roughly translates to hot, condensed, physical, dry. All these things tend to be more yang in nature, whereas yin would be things like cold, expanded, ethereal, so more in your head would be more like yin thinking, whereas being in your body would be more yang, and damp. So these are very important concepts when talking about nutritional balancing science, because we want to balance these forces in the body. And when you balance these forces, people's vitality is raised, people feel better, and they live healthier lives. So the most important thing to know about yin and yang is to know that most people's bodies today have become extremely yin. Now the reason they've become extremely yin is because of toxic metals, which have a yin effect on the body. It's a very yin food supply because we eat too much sugar, which is extremely yin. Any type of processed food makes it more yin, because if you think of yang as condensed, so anything that's more nutrient dense is going to be more yang, right? So anytime you process a food and you take nutrients out and you make it less nutrient dense, you're actually making it more yin. Okay, so also sugar, like I said, we're eating tons of sugar, which is probably one of the biggest travesties of our society today, is this consumption of mass amounts of sugar, which make our bodies more yin. And then you'll find, because our bodies are so yin today, we actually are getting many more yin diseases. Yin diseases are things like fungal infections, yeast infections. All these things are very yin because they like a yin body. They take a yin body for these things to thrive. Because they like damp. If you think like a fungus, it likes cold, damp environments, right? Right? You guys see what I'm saying? Okay. So an important concept to know, it's very important in nutritional balancing science that we realize that most people's bodies today are too yin from processing food, from eating processed food, from heavy metals in their system that have a yin effect in the body, from yin attitudes. We live in a very yin age. It's important to realize this as well. Now, our age has enormous benefits. For example, right now I'm making this video on a camcorder, and then I'm sharing it with you guys across the cyberspace, and that's a very amazing thing. But what's happening today is that we've become all up in our heads, and we need to be more grounded. So one thing that very young concept is actually grounding yourself. And so in nutritional balancing science, one of the most important aspects of yanging, or I'm going to make up a new word. Let's call it yangify. All right. One of the most important ways to yangify your body is through a yang diet. So there's certain things that are more yang. So for example, meat is more yang. Sea salt is more yang. I'm going to make another video about this separately. It's going to be called macrobiotics, because that's what you call it. Yin and yang diet is macrobiotics. So this is more just like an overview of yin and yang. So diet is an important method. Also detoxification methods. Things like sauna. We use an infrared sauna therapy in nutritional balancing science, and if you think of that, it's very yang in nature because you're adding heat energy to the body, right? You're taking heat and you're absorbing it into the body. Also, coffee enemas are very yang therapy because they take heavy metals out of the body, having a yang effect, and they also add nutrients to your body. So typically, the most nutrient foods today are going to be more yang. All right, if you think of like broccoli that you just bought organically, and then you eat it like fresh after a couple days, that's going to be much more yang than conventionally raised or grown broccoli. And then you wait a couple weeks and it's kind of iffy, and then you eat the broccoli, right? That's going to be less nutrient dense, right? And more yin things are going to be growing on it, organisms and stuff. So it's important to know that most of the best foods today are going to be yang in nature. Alright, so this is just an overview of yang and yin. I'm going to be making another video that's going to talk about the specific diet and how it relates to yang and yin. Things like sugar is yin, sea salt is very yang. So we'll be talking more about that. And the most important thing to also get from this is that we need to yang our bodies, because all our bodies today have become so yin. Okay, from all the processed food, all the sugar, all the heavy metals, and there's also electromagnetic radiation that we're constantly exposed to. EMF fields, cell phone towers, microwaves, all these things have a yin effect on the body as well. So it's important that we yang our bodies to protect ourselves from these sort of things. But yeah, I'll be talking more about this concept, and I hope you guys find this interesting and that you hope this benefits everyone. Alright, see you guys later.